question to ask, how do we build back better?
To build back better or whatever.
We have a chance to reset the clock and build back better than before.
To build back better than before.
Remember the terrible damage of COVID as we try to build back from this global pandemic.
Joe Biden calls it Build Back Better.
Build back better.
Building back better.
To do things differently. To build back better.
We're going to build it back better.
And build it back better.
It's my plan to build back better.
Start taking all the problems that have been created in education and mental health and start to build back in a positive way.
I have launched a booklet called Build Back Better, Britain After Coronavirus.
It's about building this country back better.
Growing conspiracy following it. It is called the Great Reset.
An unprecedented opportunity to rethink and reset the ways in which we live.
The great opportunity for reset.
The theory even calls Mr. Biden's campaign slogan, Build Back Better, a front for the conspiracy.
Build back better.
Building back better our economy.
Build back better.
All elements of the Great Reset are fundamental to building the future we need.
This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset.
It's a big effort some would say to build back better. We would say to really have a great reset.
Conspiracy.
Likewise, today, as Americans and all of humanity, we face a common enemy. It is once again time as Americans and as neighbors in this global community that we stand together once again and work hand in hand to defeat this new enemy, the coronavirus.
But this thing is different.
The American people need to know we're facing a different enemy than we have ever faced.
Troops have begun patrolling the streets of Australia's largest city, Sydney, to help enforce a prolonged lockdown.
South Africa has announced that it will be deploying more than 70,000 army troops to enforce a nationwide lockdown.
I think those are bodies that are built for peacetime and not for war. And we're at war right now with this virus.
Sirens blare across the Jordanian capital, warning residents to stay in their home.
Curfew hours are in effect. You need to move now.
Police making multiple arrests.
We must declare war on this virus.
We must act like any wartime government.
We're at war.
We are in a situation of war.
We're at war with the virus.
The back! To the back!
I will not hesitate my soldiers to shoot you.
Things will get worse.
Masks should be worn outdoors, even when you're exercising. You need to have the mask with you.
All indoor and outdoor gatherings will be prohibited.
Not gathering in groups.
We'll stop all gatherings of more than 2 people in public.
No more than 6 people at one table.
Pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to to a major cyber attack.
I don't think I need to spend a lot of time showing how badly that's feeling. The mortality and morbidity rates of this disease are unprecedented. I've been doing critical care for a decade and a half. I do not see mortality rates associated with any severe illness that I've seen this one.
The scope of the seriousness of this infection is extraordinary.
And again, I do not want to diminish the value and the expertise of our national healthcare societies and international healthcare societies like the WHO and the CDC. However, I think those are bodies that are built for peacetime and not for war. And we're at war right now with this virus.
So right now we're about to go give a COVID vaccine to someone inside a 7-Eleven.
With Johnson & Johnson, you only need one and done. So that's the good thing about it. You don't have to get a second one, nothing like that. Okay.
You got the shot right here at work by U.S. soldiers.
My man, y'all take care of me, man. All about the being an American citizen, man. The perks of it, man. I appreciate it, man. If anything, and anything, and I hope everybody else does it too, man.
Now, what would you tell people who don't want to get a vaccine? Why should they get it?
Honestly, there may be viewers who won't take it from Anthony Fauci, but might take it from Jay Bhattacharya. What would you say to someone who still hasn't gotten vaccinated?
Why they should get it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that for someone who's older, especially, the vaccine is incredibly important. COVID is a very deadly disease, as we talked about, for people who's older. And the vaccine, while we haven't seen, it's only been in human use for 10 months, right? So we don't know all of the side effects. We've seen enough to know it's pretty safe.
Don't get to help not get sick and not get anybody sick, if anything. So that's pretty much it, yeah, man. Everybody need to do it, not to get anybody sick, if anything. Especially, in the line of work we're in, I might get sick and not know I'm sick. And
this thing is different.
That we stand together once again and work hand in hand to defeat this new enemy, the coronavirus.
As a result, just take the vaccines. The vaccines could have been used to protect vulnerable older people. I advocated for that through the pandemic. The vaccines, I do believe, reduce the mortality risk from getting COVID. And for those who have a high mortality from COVID, especially older people, it may have been justified.
Set aside whether these vaccines are safe and effective or not. Ask yourself this question. Why is it that the elderly and already ill die, not just with this alleged virus, but other things? Even colds can kill people in elderly care homes. Certainly the flu can. And the reason is their immune systems are tired, they're senescent, and their bodies have got so little reserve, say renal reserve, heart reserve. So if they're laid low by some overwhelming infection and their immune system can't fight it off, that's why they die. But here's the thing. They can't respond to vaccines. They cannot respond to vaccines. They can't respond to vaccines because their immune system is senescent, elderly, tired, non-functioning, not working properly, which is why they're vulnerable in the first place. So you can see the vaccines could never have saved the vulnerable. Even if they worked and were safe, they could never have saved the vulnerable. They're not an appropriate public health response.